sidestepping, just a brick.
That's not a woman. That's not a female. That's not even a trans person. That is a man. Like, that's a legit biological man.
Are you ready for one flight?
Yes.
Yeah.
Brittney Griner appeared to call Caitlin Clark trash and effing.
Brittney Griner voiced frustration in a recent interview, claiming that Caitlin Clark is ruining.
Brittney Griner elbowing Caitlin Clark in a crazy way and then calling her a trash white girl.
First things first is like there's a lot of AI detections in these things. Like you can't post anything like that on social media.
But we have heard nothing from the WNBA, absolutely nothing.
2 minutes ago, the WNBA took an unexpected turn. Following an intense dispute concerning her gender identity, Brittney Griner has apparently been banned. In a startling turn of events, Caitlin Clark's name is now being brought into the fray.
Brittney Griner voiced frustration in a recent interview, claiming that Caitlin Clark is ruining what used to make the WNBA great. Wait for this.
Empty stands?
Tom, let me just...
I'm so mad.
WNBA games used to be a chill, quiet place. You could bring your laptop and relax, maybe even get a little work done. But now, it's like there's a large gathering of people watching us from the stands. Some of them are yelling crazy shit about what they're seeing, putting unfair pressure on us to score, like we're there for their entertainment, and that's pretty gross.
One leaked video, one viral theory, and a barrage of accusations have turned what started as a furious and-court rivalry into something much more serious, drawing the league into an unavoidable crisis.
It wasn't until yesterday that I saw a video of her speak, and it just hit me. I was like, wait, that's not a woman. That's not a female. That's not even a trans person. That is a man. Like, that's a legit biological man.
Buckle up, because what just happened has sent shockwaves through the sport, and it's only just getting started. It all began with a contentious on-court moment, but it quickly spiraled into something much bigger than a game. The footage is disturbing, the silence is deafening, and the consequences could be irreversible. This isn't just about basketball anymore. It's about biology bias and the truth the WNBA doesn't want to face.
This video actually resurfaced. It's an Instagram story from, I believe it says 109 weeks ago. I can't see from here, but over 2 years ago, that this video was recorded and it was recently leaked on Twitter. So Kelly, if we can go ahead and play this video, please, and then we'll have a discussion.
Value, Brittney. Let me see something real quick. Brick, thank you. Get the fuck.
Damn.
Look at the chest.
Yo. Chad stepping, just a brick. Swing and a miss.
It's very clearly Brittney.
I ain't gonna fake it right now.
They called him/her by their name. And as you can clearly see here, his bare chest is completely exposed. Now, there's a couple of different things here. First things first is like there's a lot of AI detections in these things. Like you can't post anything like that on social media without it being detected.
A video of
During
Brittney
a heated
Griner
matchup
towering over
involving Caitlin Clark and the
making
Phoenix
contact on a
Mercury,
post-up move
Brittney
went
Griner's
viral
physical
online,
presence on the
sparking
court
new
sparked fresh
over
outrage
Griner's
online.
physical presence on the
A clip
court
showing
during a
Griner
heated
towering
matchup
over
between the
Clark
Phoenix
and making
Mercury
contact
and
during a
Griner.
post-up.
Brittney Griner, who I can't stand, sad that she's a Baylor grad. She called her a trash expletive white girl. That was the lip reading. Yes, trash white girl. Trash blanking white girl is what she says.
What was first presented as a physical mismatch swiftly changed into something completely different when users pointed to Griner's gender identity as well as the play's ferocity. Suddenly, the discussion turned from basketball strategy to accusations and conjecture.
The WNBA has come out numerous times. There's no place for hate. There's no place for racism.
But it is completely possible that fucking white girl was about Caitlin Clark's popularity, about her stature, about her impact on the entire league.
With hashtags like Joshua Greergate and unfair play trending within hours, social media was ablaze with people debating whether Greer should be permitted to play in the WNBA at all. What had been murmured for years was suddenly being shouted loud, viral, and unfiltered.
Let's see an investigation into reverse racism that's going on across the league also.
She has been abused repeatedly. We have shown you videos, just getting elbowed, getting crushed, inbound passes where they ram into her, just absolutely abused, and there clearly is a racial element to it.
Then the backlash, which was ugly, divisive, and intensely personal, came. Fans who were supporting Clark, many of whom were new to the league because of her fame, started spreading accusations that the league was ignoring gender advantages, which fueled conspiracy theories that Griner's dominance came from more than just skill. For the first time, the WNBA was right in the middle of a cultural firestorm that it couldn't ignore.
He was defending Brittney Griner and saying that she should be released. And he was shocked that that was indeed the Brittney Griner, because it was definitely a man.
Although no formal statement was issued, a leaked report that purportedly confirmed the league had taken internal disciplinary action against Griner, including temporary suspension and a code of conduct violation, began to circulate as the outrage reached a fever pitch. People wanted answers, and silence only fueled the fire.
Flag you, Brittney. Let me see something real quick. Brick! Thank you! Get the hell out of here, yo! Jab stepping, just a brick. Swing and a miss! Oh! Yo, I ain't gonna fake it right now.
That this person is not a female. Firstly, because this was actually posted to Brittney's personal Instagram.
One thing was certain, this wasn't just about a foul or a hard screen. It was about identity, pressure, and a league now having to face a discussion it had long avoided. Was Griner's banned because of the viral footage or something else entirely? Why was Caitlin Clark's name suddenly brought up in a discussion about biology and fairness?
That this person is not a female. Firstly, because this was actually posted to Brittney's personal Instagram. And when it comes to Instagram, they use a combination of like AI detection and plus manual surveyors, but specifically the AI detection to make sure that no explicit content ends up on the platform. So clearly whatever AI detection system was used when Brittney posted this and it stayed up for 106 weeks was not like, oh, this is a bare female chest, we have to take this down. It obviously assumed that Brittney was male.
The way Caitlin Clark's name was dragged further into the controversy as it erupted was what made everything even more explosive. She didn't say anything or post anything, but as soon as that video of Griner berating her in court went viral, the story abruptly changed, and Clark was being painted as the victim in a fight she never requested.
Brittney Griner comes out and says, I am so sick and tired of the WNBA. It used to be a peaceful, small little thing. Now there's crowds screaming, hollering. This is disruptive. It's not allowing us to play the game. Every time we play her, there's this commotion, like this loud rumbling from the stands. Turns out it's people, thousands of them, just sitting there watching on purpose. It's very disruptive.
Messages from her fans filled the internet, claiming that the events on the court were not only physical, but also unjust, dangerous, and bordering on abusive. Some even started advocating for protections for female athletes who are biologically inferior to athletes like Griner.
Brittney is a weird case. He's a man, yes, that much is obvious, but not in the way that you think. He isn't trans. He's a straight cis male who was raised as a girl and given a girl's name by his parents. His mother is the insane one. She forced him to live as a female right up through high school, filled out all of his paperwork, including BC as female, and kept the charade going.
That phrase is explosive. Without a word from Caitlin herself, it portrayed Griner as a threat on both a competitive and existential level. Supporters of Clark contended that this incident revealed an imbalance in the league, while Griner's supporters denounced the narrative as toxic, transphobic, and based on decades of prejudice that female athletes have long faced.
He actually made a racial attack on Caitlin Clark.
Brittney Griner, was it racist?
She probably says trash. Like, it sounds like she has said. It looks like what it apparently says is effing white girl.
And caught in the midst of it all, WNBA league officials have so far yet to issue any official statements. But according to sources, meetings have apparently been held and the front office is in full crisis mode. Griner's status is now being reviewed and damage control measures are being proposed. As the rumors grew louder, one league source suggested that she was advised to refrain from participating in team activities until further notice.
And the next thing you know, DeMarcus like, oh my God, she's protected. Oh, it's all because she's white and all this other stuff. And then Angel Reese comes out and she's saying all these things. And then Jameel Hill comes out. Rob, I don't know if you have this clip or not. Jameel Hill comes out and says Angel Reese at the end of her career is going to end up being calls Angel Reese.
Others argue that it's a soft suspension intended to quell the ire without establishing blame, but nobody is confirming anything, which is making matters worse because every silence now feels like guilt, and every communication lapse feeds the conspiracy. Additionally, with Clark's meteoric rise drawing unprecedented attention to the league, fans and the media are calling for transparency. And let's be clear, this is about identity politics, not statistics, who scored more points, or who played tougher defense.
First things first is like there's a lot of AI detections in these things. Like you can't post anything like that on social media without it being detected. And so, I mean, whatever AI detection, glanced over this thing, did not flag it. Like they clearly was like, okay, this is just a man with their chest exposed.
The history of both players adds to the intensity of this moment, which is about how one player's supremacy became another player's lightning rod, and how the WNBA is now having to survive the weight of it after years of requesting attention. From dominating at Baylor to winning an Olympic gold medal and a WNBA championship, Brittney Griner has always been a towering presence in women's basketball, both literally and symbolically. She has been praised, criticized, and occasionally even politicized.
Brittney Griner is a weird case. He's a man, yes, that much is obvious, but not the way you think. He isn't trans, he's straight.
A straight cis
sorry,
male.
Sorry, it's not a typical word. Sorry.
Yeah, made up words, it's okay.
He's a straight cis man who was raised as a girl and given a girl's name by his parents. His mother is the insane one. She forced him to live as a female right through high school, filled out all his paperwork, including BC as a female, kept the charade going. He played on a girls' sports teams because his paper said that he was a girl. He had to keep pretending in college to stay on the women's teams. He had to keep just barely pretending to stay in the WNBA now. But all other ways he lives life as a man. He wears men's clothes, dates, and is married to women.
In the meantime, Caitlin Clark has emerged as the face of the new era, a rising star who attracted millions of new fans to the WNBA. When you combine her well-publicized arrest in Russia with her return to the league, she becomes more than just an athlete. She is a cultural icon. Clark is frequently viewed as a ray of hope for the league's financial success. But fame comes with pressure and controversy. As soon as she joined the professional ranks, every encounter, every foul, and every opponent gained more attention.
She is a supernova a level of fame with one-of-a-kind talent, and it is game-changing for the entire league.
Caitlin Clark effect seems to be crazier than year one.
Caitlin Clark is Indiana Fever's leading scorer at over 19 points a game. Caitlin Clark is undeniably the offensive engine.
You cannot deny the impact that she's made on this sport.
That's nice. And she was shooting the shit out of it.
Of course she was.
Right, so she was shooting the shit out of it. And
she's the face of the league.
Agreed.
She's my role model. I really look up to her.
Why do you like Caitlin?
And she's so good at basketball.
Because she's that awesome person and she has like a lot of aura.
Whether or not Griner has been officially banned, one thing is now certain. The WNBA cannot avoid these discussions about gender, fairness, and the conflict between tradition and change. It was like gasoline meeting fire when those two stories collided in that viral moment. Fans took sides, and the narrative spiraled out of control, paralyzing the league that was already stretched by growing pains.
The Brittney Griner, because it was definitely a man, okay? A man who's an Adam's apple, deep masculine voice, and there's just no, and a size 17 shoe. So I looked up another interview from when Brittney Griner was in 8th grade, and she sounded like any teenage boy would sound.
And as the dust settles, one thing is certain, this is not merely a media moment, rather it marks a turning point in women's basketball history. Suddenly, the WNBA finds itself at a crossroads that it never desired, but one it can no longer ignore. Once a cornerstone of the league, Brittney Griner is now at the center of a controversy that calls into question not only her role in the game, but also its basic regulations.
Brittney Griner voiced frustration in a recent interview, claiming that Caitlin Clark is ruining What used to make the WNBA great?
Brittney was male and therefore being topless on the platform was totally fine. It did not constitute as nudity. Now, some people may speculate, okay, well, is Brittney trans?
You know, was it the real reason why she got detained and arrested? Because Russia definitely is not alphabet mafia friendly at all. And I'm not saying that she deserves to be arrested for that, but it makes me wonder if that was the real reason and they found out that she was actually a man, a biological man.
The amount of people in yellow 22 apparel is stunning.
Although Caitlin Clark didn't request this conflict, her quick ascent has put her name at the center of a national discussion about identity justice and the league's future as it attempts to strike a balance between tradition and change. If you think it's time for the WNBA to finally speak up, leave a comment, subscribe, and enable notifications because this story is far from over and what happens next could change everything we thought we knew about the game. The league's silence is deafening. The questions are louder than ever, and the fans are demanding answers.